This is the 12th year of the Ride Around the Murray Festival, and we feel really honoured to have the actual opening here at the Local Regional Library.
We're so lucky to have a local literary festival that can attract world-class writers. We can support local and emerging writers, support a culture of reading, facilitate storytelling, a diversity of stories and a way of thinking.
The actual creating of the mural for me has made something really permanent in my heart.
Give them a good Albury Wiradjuri welcome.
That I think is one of the most beautiful welcomes we have ever had in our 20-year career.
I was small, I was hesitant.
So you had this tough job of having to find and select and decide on 50 words out of more than 1 million. Not one word more, not one word less.
I was scared, I was unsure.
I'm staggered at the quality of the writing.
In the middle of the track, a bloody cow.
It was a beautiful story, so congratulations.
Your language is a part of you.
It started a song we sing today. Yeah.
Because we don't want, poetry snobs. We want it to be the people, so everybody is welcome up on stage.
Different bits of me throb, sting, smart.
The park seemed like a good idea now.
When he was seated, he dropped the backpack at his feet. His partner, Troy, large and smelling of adrenal sweat,
Truly splendid.
But in medieval times, a person could be paid to carry the sins of another person to a holy place.
And you're going off carrying the sins of others and getting money for it, you charlatan.
And I'm going to do probably 3 things differently when I leave here. I'm not going to be so nosy about my friendships. I'm going to listen more carefully, and I'm going to be much more curious.
Maybe a little bit of language in this poem.
Yeah.
Yes, PK.
Use it, take control, but never succumb to mind control.
Audience, you guys are doing a really, really good job too. Showing your love, and that makes a really, really big difference, so big up yourselves. That's a compliment for those of you who aren't familiar with hip-hop culture. Always been a city boy, but maybe my nature needs nourishing.
If you walk in the footpaths of other people, something of their story kind of seeps up through your feet. That's how I've always felt it anyway. And part of the act of walking for me is imagining who's been on the land before me.
Glad the real phone system around because we'd be trouble if that happened.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make my fortune soon enough.
Has anyone listened to a podcast for half an hour or more this week? Watched a film? This is a lot of story consuming. What about, has anyone listened to another person tell a story for half an hour this week? Music is such a... Who's listened to music for half an hour this week?
I think hearing people's voices tell their own stories is really evocative and raw. And I really like real stories.
These stories have taken on a strange kind of unreality now that you no longer talk to me.
A large hand plops onto my shoulder like a 2-kilo meatloaf.
I used to think it was the best job in the world. I used to eat out 10 times a week, so that's about 500 times a year to eat out. I was in love with cooking, and I was in love with this idea of maybe there's some good food out there, because occasionally I'd see some good food. In a very short period of starting the job, I suddenly realised that I wasn't getting paid to eat in good restaurants, I was getting paid to eat in bad ones.
So this morning in the workshop, a young lady drew this character with the eyes too far apart. So
you should do another eye in the middle. And this character ended up having 3 eyes. And how cool is that? So, and then she's like, I'm just going to keep it like that.
Yeah. Nice.
Banks foreclosing, towns shrinking, the ever-present spectre of suicide.
Fiction writers, of course, write a lot of truth, and journalists write a lot of...
I adored that book.
I just disappeared into that, and it was so far removed from my country life in this small town in Western Victoria.
So the first time I had to use an afterthought was when I went to my Year 6 formal when I was at primary school, and I was like, oh.
Everybody here has had a broken heart. We've all had broken hearts.
If you go into somebody's house and there are no books, you find it completely weird.
The research shows that there's a return to the book. We've kind of got past the novelty of the device. 25 years ago, this didn't exist, and we forget that now. But not everywhere has a festival quite as nice as this one, but everywhere has a festival. And so suddenly you come face to face with your readers. This is a fantastic experience, and it's not about whether you sell the books at these festivals. That's nice. That's the icing on the cake. What's much more important for us as writers is the feedback that we get, the questions we get from the people who are too shy to ask a question in a forum like this but want to sidle up to you afterwards and want to tell you something private or ask you something private. None of this infrastructure existed, none of these kinds of conversations between writers. We didn't meet each other as easily as we do now. And we didn't meet you as easily, and I think that that's been a fantastic experience. But what's undeniable is that we're part of a community with you, and we are having a conversation with you through the book initially, and then here afterwards.
It's very nice, as always, to be back right around the Murray. It's such a lovely festival, and I think the committee and the volunteers do such a brilliant job. It's lovely coming here, as I say. It's a great pleasure.